me ask you, do you ever look up at the sky? I do. I look all around, 360, up, down, left, right, angle to angle. One thing I realize is that we as a people, we don't control the airspace above, okay? We don't. You can buy all the land that you want, but that space that's above, in between from what we can see, what we stand on, to what we look at in terms of the clouds when we see planes fly by, okay? None of that area we control as a community, as a people, as humanity, okay? But one thing that is concerning is the fact that we see these streaks that go through the sky. What are they? Are those what they call contrails, chemtrails, or is that just hot engine exhaust left by jet engines? The rain, the environment, air quality, our health, vegetation, everything is affected by what comes from above. It seems like everything is more polluted. How is this actually affecting our weather? Does it have any impact on air travel? I think so. We are told that these clouds, supposedly, allegedly, are to help block the sun's radiation to cool the Earth's temperature during global warming. We are told the sun's rays are harmful to our skin. Honestly, it's up in the air as to what you gravitate to, but you choose to believe in what works for you.
Okay, we're here today at Harrow Road. We are the Yellow Boards. We stand on London streets. We talk to all the passers-by and we get loads of beeps. And today we're talking about climate, trying to reassure you that there is no climate emergency, that the world is not about to boil over, and that CO2 is not the problem. The powers that think they be are making it out to be, because CO2 is the gas of life. And it's put in greenhouses to make plants grow. And if they reduce it too far, the planet will start to die. And today we're taking a slightly different tack and talking about the chemtrails that they're spraying virtually every day. You know how you see a beautiful sunny morning and then 2 hours later it's all grey because they've been spraying like crazy. And we're asking you to think, why are they spraying? And they'll tell you on the government website, it's solar radiation management in order to dim the sun. But if they dim the sun, the planet's going to die. So are they trying to help us or not? Are they trying to help the planet or not? These chemtrails are full of awful things: aluminium, barium, strontium, virtually the whole periodic table. And you have to wonder why they're trying to so-called save the planet by spraying toxins that may be affecting the bees, giving the bees dementia, that may be giving us dementia. Who knows? So we're asking you to look up and ask yourselves why there's so many crisscrosses in the skies and who is it benefiting? And as usual, I will tell you to follow the money and you will see who it's benefiting. So look up and make a stand against what they are spraying on us in every direction. That's all, folks.
This is what they do. They fly above the clouds and drop it down below. And there's, quite frankly, nothing that we can do about it, especially if we don't know. Yeah, for sure. They probably do most of this at nighttime because that's the time when we sleep. We're adjusted to the clock. And it only makes sense. Let's do it when they are at their most vulnerable state.
Let's start with the basics here. What exactly is cloud seeding? It's not a conspiracy, and according to the Government Accountability Office, Cloud seeding is, quote, an 80-year-old technology that adds tiny particles, usually silver iodide crystals, to clouds that trigger rain or snow. The federal government actually holds over 400 patents in various weather-altering technology like this. Keyword here is usually they have those chemicals in though. You see what else is used in cloud seeding programs? Potassium chloride. You know what else potassium chloride is used for? As the final drug in the traditional 3-drug lethal injection protocol for the death penalty. Now, look, sure, okay, studies mostly funded by the same people spraying it in the air indicate that this level is, not poisonous to humans as far as they know. But then again, we used to use lead pipes and that was fine. But what gives the government the right to control what I'm breathing in? How can you fly over my property spraying a bunch of random chemicals without my consent? 9 states, including California, Colorado, Idaho, Nevada, New Mexico, North Dakota, Texas, Utah, Wyoming, currently have active cloud seeding programs. However, right now in North Dakota, Republican State Senator Todd Beard introduced a bill that will do away with weather modification and penalize those who practice it. Keep in mind, North Dakota has a hail suppression program that's been running since 1960. All this might have started in the U.S., but it's also on the world stage. UAE, where they now are offering $1.5 million grants for those ready to, quote, push the boundaries on rain science. Why are we messing with weather?
With a touch of a button, the battle begins. On the ground, chemical cloud seeders begin to work the 2 storm areas. Robot planes seed the clouds from above. The storm centers over Kansas and over Labrador intensify as seeding continues.
Now changing over to Hurricane Center HE.
The fury of the hurricane mounts as 100-mile-an-hour winds lash the sea to a foaming frenzy.
All stations, Sector C. Activate Phase 2 Control Plan Delta. Set vapor rockets for 42,000 feet. Execute.
As an emergency measure, the controller calls for a salvo of vapor rockets to be fired ahead of the path the hurricane is predicted to take. These artificial clouds will block the sun from evaporating more water to feed the hurricane. The reports coming into the control center indicate that the diversionary cloud seeding over Kansas is now creating a flood danger. Specially equipped robot aircraft are dispatched immediately to release a high concentration of cloud seeding material into the fringes of the storm. Heavier seeding from the ground also helps to subdue the rain by spreading it over a wider area. The controller calls for another view of the hurricane, which has now moved closer to the coast.
This pretty much is a CIA Navy operation. You're dealing with people, you don't know who they are, they're not accountable to anybody. They're capable of dastardly things. You see, the American people are totally out of the loop. Their reality is based on their life experience. You see, the way you judge things and the way you process things, your opinions are based on your own life experience. Most people haven't had these experiences.
Many of you may have noticed a sort of dirty substance on your car last night. This is due to a weather phenomenon known as mud rain, which occurred across the state of West Virginia last night. This was the result of dust being blown in from the southwest and southern plains, which was then brought down with falling precipitation. The particular collection of dust we saw last night came from Texas and Oklahoma. Here are a few photos that the 12 News team collected, showing the dirt specks that could be seen along many people's cars and windshields. However, this mud rain was not only visible here in north central West Virginia, as offices of emergency management in Mason and Pendleton counties reported similar occurrences.
A lot of questions about some of the dirt that was on cars and some decks. I saw some on my mailbox when I got up this morning, and that was actually the result of massive dust storms over the southwest. The dust went up into the atmosphere and got pulled east by a very strong jet stream and the storm that brought the recent rain here. And it was just those dust deposits that you caught out there if you went out this morning, and that's what you found on your car. Pretty amazing. It made its way all the way across the country, and many folks woke up to the same thing in the Ohio Valley as well.
So happy to see that sunshine. Yes. And a couple raindrops this morning, and then people started saying, hey, there's kind of mud mixing in with that. And you know what that is? That's dirty rain. And you wonder, wait, what is that? So that's, a little dust from Texas and also New Mexico. They kind of mixed in with our raindrops, and then it actually carried some of that dust down to the surface of the earth. And sure enough, this is a trash can from Dylan sending in this. And again, it looks like dirty rain. That's how you explain it.
Boy, if your car was sitting outside at any point today and it looked a little dirty tonight, maybe you turned on your windshield wipers and all of a sudden there's like there's mud that kind of came pouring down. You're not alone. A massive dust storm from Texas and Oklahoma traveled more than 1,000 miles and made its way to northern Ohio last night. Let's bring in Chief Meteorologist Chris Vickers once again. All right, Chris, let's dive into this a little bit. It actually happened. Can you explain it?
Jeff, I had to see this for myself to actually believe it. So major dust storm that occurred yesterday across Texas and Oklahoma really whipped up tens of thousands of square miles of dust that lofted it up into the atmosphere. And take a look at the pictures and the video we captured outside of our W211 studios. Our car windshields, the front of the car, covered in that grimy, dusty dirt, and it really was quite a nasty, sort of sticky concoction. This was the front hood of a car and the windshield where the dust had accumulated. All right, let's switch on over to the weather maps and let's highlight what exactly happened. So yesterday, major dust storm across northern Texas. The jet stream swooped that dust up around an area of low pressure, and now with a few showers, deposited that across northern Ohio. That is a distance of about 1,000 miles by the way the crow flies, bringing that dust from Texas into northern parts of Ohio and southern Michigan, actually visible from outer space. So take a look at this. This is high-resolution satellite image. Dust storm yesterday was across northern Texas that whipped up those winds and that transported it in a northerly direction. That dust movement arriving into the evening, and initially a few light rain showers that brought that dust down to the surface of over 1,000 miles of a distance that it traveled. Very rare for that to happen, but we've seen it now twice in the month of March.
I don't know about you, but I don't see the things that I once saw as a child. Certain insects, flowers, honeysuckles, healthy, natural foods. Things have changed on a large scale. Earth seems to be going through a transition in the lower vibrations that are attempting to stop this change by introducing poisons upon our home. Now, water holds memory very well. So as this transition takes place, those entities that plagued Mother Earth will soon know that their plans will fail as our planet transitions to a different frequency. Earth is water all around you. The human body, the oceans, groundwater, freshwater lakes and rivers, glaciers and ice caps, the ice wall, the mist or vapor in the air, in the ground as soil moisture or aquifers, water molecules are all around. Look at the Bible. Genesis chapter 1 verses 6 through 8. Then God said, "Let there be an expanse in the midst of the waters, and let it separate waters from the waters." God made the expanse and separated the waters which were below the expanse from the waters which were above the expanse, and it was so. God called the expanse heaven. There is an undeclared war right before our eyes, spiritually, mentally, physically, all around. And we need to understand to make a stand against these crimes on humanity. Please continue to have due diligence and make it your obligation to protect your home. Peace and prosperity is what those who understand and understand deserve. Like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for watching.